to even offer the opportunity to somebody else. So I want to spend my time today with you guys and show you that you guys are awesome, that you guys are beautiful, you have tons of potential, and you can help a lot of people as coaches, no matter where you are, whether you're a keto baby coach, or if you're like 10 years old in this business and you're super rock star, and you should have a mic and not me, okay? But with that said, you've probably noticed on the screen that was here that you we're getting bombarded with stories, like one story after another, after another, after another. She shared her story, Chip shared his story. A bunch of you guys have shared your stories with me, even when we were just in the back. I'm going to share my story, and the reason for that is I believe your story is your most powerful tool as a coach, okay? And you have a story, and I'll touch on that a little bit. But for me, I got started with Beachbody back in college. I was a trumpet performance major at Penn State University. Any Penn State majors or Penn State people? Oh, no. Yeah, I was basically a professional band nerd. I practiced trumpet for 8+ hours a day in a little cubicle with the fluorescent light that hummed and flickered and made me feel really awkward. And I basically hunched over my trumpet all day. I used to be a competitive swimmer, so I knew what it was like to be in great shape, but when I was in college, I got really good at trumpet and terrible at taking care of myself. I just kind of was like Mozart, like focusing on my instrument, like, let's get better at 8 hours a day, and I stopped taking care of myself. I'm so focused on what I was doing. It's kind of how I am, like I don't know if it's type A, but super, like, laser focused on what I do. Like I'm going to stare at this wall until it falls down. Like that kind of personality. And I was getting really good at trumpet, really bad at taking care of myself. I started having lower back issues. I started having I'd bend over to pick up my trumpets and I'm like, oh my gosh, and I had to like walk like an old man for the rest of the week. And that was like a weekly thing. And I started having digestive issues. Don't ask, I won't tell. It's kind of gross. First time meeting, maybe on our second date, I'll tell you that. I was, the funny story is I found out about Beachbody when I was laying on my bed eating pizza one night. And, yeah, no joke. My routine was laying on my bed. I'd go to Papa John's across the street. On Thursdays, it was $7 pizza night, so I go to Papa John's and I buy my pizza with the awesome garlic butter dipping sauce. Who knows that? Oh, by the way, you guys, your pizza out here sucks. Just saying. And I can barely breathe up here because I need oxygen. But yeah, your pizza's like so bad. Anyway, side note, I'm a pizza fan. No shame. You're like, oh, thank God for Shakeology. I don't need cake. I'm like, I like cake. I'll eat cake. Send it my way. I'll take it. But yeah, I was eating pizza, my Papa John's ritual, weekly ritual, and no side note, has the dipping sauce. I'd actually drink that stuff. I'm not even kidding. No shame. So good. Delicious. Delicious buttery goodness. Anyway, where's lunch today? I'm a man, feed me. So I was watching YouTube videos, ironically enough. I was sitting on my bed watching YouTube. I had my pizza literally laying on my belly, bounced on my belly, and I was like stuffing my face watching YouTube videos. And an advertisement came on for P90X, okay? You all know P90X. Anyone recognize the name Wayne Wyatt? Anyone? Like a couple of you guys? Yeah, he was top coach 2012 and 13, no, 11 and 12. And this guy, he's like, typical dad bod. He's, with tons of kids. He's got like 1 billion kids crawling all over him, and he has a dentist practice and all sorts of other things. He's entrepreneur, but he wasn't taking care of himself. He saw this P90X program and he got it, and he pops up on my screen on YouTube, and he's like, when I first started, I was this guy, and he was like the Michelin man, okay? And then the next thing he's like, and then I did P90X, and it was the most extreme program you've ever heard of. And he's like, it is so hard, my eyeballs fell off, and my legs fell off, and I like died. And then came back to life. They resuscitated me, and I came back to life. And he's like, don't do this program, it's too hard, basically. And he showed his results, and he like flexes his abs and lightning bolts shoot out of him. He's like, it's amazing. He looked like Zeus. And basically saying like, don't do this program, it's too hard. That's how Beachbody kind of marketed it at first. They're like, extreme, it's so extreme, you're gonna die. And I was like, sign me up. I'm gonna die. And so I got this program off of Craigslist. Okay, we're going to be super honest with each other, super vulnerable. Your coach, who started their business illegally? With an illegal copy of a burnt copy of something. Yeah, put more hands up. You guys are liars. Yeah. Okay, so that was me. So I saw this program and I was like, I have to have that program. So I got on Craigslist. I bought it from this shady dude. And I met him at a gas station parking lot. Who's ever heard this story from me before? I met this guy at a gas station parking lot because we had to do the exchange, right? And I meet him and I see him from the opposite side of the parking lot, and it's November, so it's cold. And he's wearing a hoodie because it's cold. I'm wearing a hoodie. And we like make eye contact across the parking lot and like scope around. There's like one little lamp in the corner, it's like flickering, and like tumbleweed rolls across. And we approach each other. We've obviously never done this before. We're both super nervous. And we didn't know what to say, so he's just like, do you have the money? Yeah, do you have the DVDs? We did this super awkward exchange where he handed me the DVDs and I handed him the money, and we both grabbed what we wanted and what we came for, but neither of us let go because we were afraid he was like, oh, we were so scared he was going to murder me or something. And so we like did this awkward tug of war thing and finally like got what we were just like turned around and like ran away. Super, super shady. I'm sure people in the gas station were like, that was a drug deal. So that's how I got my DVDs, and I went back to my little apartment that literally was smaller than the stage. I could sit on my bed. It looks like I'm sitting on a toilet, but I could sit on my bed and cook on my stove, reach to the back of my refrigerator, and work at my desk all from the same position. And I did P90X in there. I did the burnt coffee P90X and got amazing results. I was super inspired by. I gotta take a break and breathe. So that's how I did P90X, and I got really great results. I kind of did that, like laser focus, stare at the brick wall until it falls down thing, and changed my eating habits overnight. Started taking care of myself. Started waking up at like 4 a.m. before classes started in college to get my workouts in. And can you hear that? I think my asthma's kicking up. This is exciting. It's the most intense Super Saturday ever. Caleb died on stage. Yeah, it was awesome, and long story short, I was broke as a college student. I was to the point at one point where I was actually selling my blood plasma just to buy groceries because I was really, really ridiculously irresponsible with my money and really lazy, honestly. I was not willing to work. And so I thought, well, I'll just go down to the clinic and donate my blood, sell my blood plasma, sell a part of my body, and make money off of it. And that's what I did, and that's how I made my groceries, how I made my grocery runs for like 2 weeks. I didn't have $40 to eat off of. But still, I got results, so that's not an excuse. This guy, I saw him on Facebook, or not Facebook, I think it was just a blog or something. He's like, I'll send you 2 Shakeology samples for free if you just give me your email and phone number and full name and all this other stuff, and put it into this form on this website over here and click submit. And I'm like, 2 free meals, awesome. I've heard about the Shakeology stuff on these burnt DVDs. And I was like, I'll give my email, I'll sign up, and I got 2 free meals out of it. It was sweet, Shakeology. It was terrible at first. Who remembers Shakeology when it first came out? Like when it was, like, do you guys remember the first formula of Greenberry? It was like licking poop. It was so bad. I remember sitting in class and I had these 2, of course he sent me Greenberry because he didn't want them. I'm sitting in class, like I shook this thing up and everybody's kind of like looking at me and I'm like, Shakeology. And I drank this stuff and I'm like that's horrible. I'll give my email, I'll sign up, and I got 2 free meals out of it. It was sweet, Shakeology. It was terrible at first. Who remembers Shakeology when it first came out? Like when it was, like, do you guys remember the first formula of Greenberry? It was like licking poop. It was so bad. I remember sitting in class and I had these 2, of course he sent me Greenberry because he didn't want them. I'm sitting in class, like I shook this thing up and everybody's kind of like looking at me and I'm like, Shakeology. And I drank this stuff and I'm like that's horrible. Anyway, so he connected with me on Facebook because basically I had signed up to make him my coach. He kind of duped me. And he saw my results that I was posting. I was naturally super excited about how P90X worked out for me, and I gave it my all. And he's like, dude, you gotta become a coach. You've gotta become a coach. Oh my gosh, you're amazing. And I was like, no. I want nothing to do with that crap. I love the products. I love what they've done for me, but I don't want anything to do with your pyramid scheme. I don't want anything to do with your salesy crap. I don't want anything. I don't want to bug my friends. I don't want to. And I gave him the whole laundry list of objections, right? Who's ever experienced that before? Where you see somebody and you're like, they are coach material, they're better than I am, and they're not even coaches yet. And you go to them and you're like, oh my gosh, you'd be the most amazing coaches. You could do this, you could do that, you could be earning so much, you could help so many people. And they're like, yeah, it's okay. I think it's pyramid scheme. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you serious? You think I would do that? Well, that was me. Like, I remember he bugged me for 6 months and a year and 2 years and 3 years, and the whole time, 3 years, I believed all those objections. I believed all those things that Beachbody wasn't. And I even, this is kind of embarrassing, but I even told him, like, hey dude, I'm a Christian. I can't be involved in a business like that. I can't do that, because there's got to be something wrong here. Like, because I was watching all these coaches. I was watching these coaches like they signed up, and 4 or 5 years later they're millionaires. Like, are they selling cocaine? I don't know. Well, I pulled the Christian excuse out. It was so ridiculous, and now in hindsight I'm like, you're a dumb idiot. Like, but it's prepared me, because I get objections all the time, just like you guys probably do. But I want to encourage you guys to believe in those people. That when you reach out to someone and you're like, hey, this is an opportunity you need to think about. Like, this is something for you. And they just come right back and they're like, no, this is not for me. Don't stop believing in those people just because they give you an objection. Those people are your future rock stars. You have to believe in them. They're going to get it, okay? I finally got it. It took me 3 years because I'm a thick skull, okay? But I came around, and that's the only reason I'm sitting here, because he believed in me before I believed in myself. So I just want to challenge you guys not to give up on people too soon. Never give up on people. Never give up on people, because you just never know how much potential they have locked inside them. But I became a coach, signed up, realized really quickly long story short, I hit rock bottom. I was working at all sorts of jobs. I was a construction worker. I worked at a restaurant. I was a busboy for a long time, making pretty much minimum wage. It was miserable. I hated everything about it, and tried to get in the state police. Failed my polygraph test. No joke. I'll be super vulnerable with you guys right now. They're like, did you do this? I'm like, no. Did you do that? No. Did you do that? No. And they asked me, like, did you ever do drugs? And I was like, no. And he kind of looked over at me like, really? And I haven't. I was like, I've never done drugs. And I got like really defensive, and my hands were all, by the way, look, my hands are super sweaty. And I was like, no, I've never done it. And I got super defensive, my heart rate went up, and I failed because of that. So that was kind of interesting. It's a blessing in disguise though, because it led me to where I am now. And I became a coach. I was at rock bottom. I was just like, I don't know what I want to do with my life. This is ridiculous. I'm a college graduate. I have no direction. And finally I just went back to my coach. I was like, all right, I've been watching you for 3 years blow this thing up. I've been watching these other people build these amazing dream lives, traveling for free to Punta Cana and on these cruises. Who's going on a cruise, by the way? Anyone? Yeah. Do all these amazing things and build this life of freedom. I was like, I want that. I don't care if it's illegal, just pay me. Just whatever, sign me up, and let's just keep this on the hush-hush. I signed up and realized that I was like, I want to stream this thing to the world, because it really is. I mean, if you're on the edge thinking about it and you have your objections or whatever, jump, because you've heard that multiple times today already. Because you cannot understand what you're possibly sitting on unless you're in it. Like, it's something emotional. It really is changing like the course of my life in huge ways, and it's given me a platform that I never ever thought I would have to fulfill my call to ministry that I've always had, to fulfill my call to help people, to build provision for my future family that I don't even have yet. Like, it's super exciting knowing that a lot of that stuff is in motion right now. It's just because I finally got to the point where it's like, okay, my desire for this is way greater than my desire to just continue getting objections. So get yourself to that point. It doesn't matter how long it takes. The sooner the better, because this business is built on time. But jump, like go for it. So yeah, I became a coach. Great things have happened. It's taken me a long time. You guys don't. One of the big keys I want to teach you guys today is not to compare. Like not to ever compare yourself, because I'm kind of on a bunny trail from what I want to actually share today. But you've seen other people on the screen. You've seen other people's results. You've seen other people's income progression. You've seen all these different things. Like it's super poisonous to compare yourself to other people's progress, because everybody's story is totally different. We're talking about stories today. Everybody's story is totally different. Everybody's timeline is totally different. Like it's taken me almost 3 years to get to where I am. For some people, it's taken them only 6 months. For some people, it's taken them a year to go 15-star diamond. I'm not anywhere close to that in a minute. This for 3 years. It doesn't matter, because in time's the common denominator with this business. If you hang in here for like 10 years, I think you'll be all right. I'm pretty sure you'll be all right. 10 years from now, if you never give up and you're still here, I don't think anyone's going to be talking about, well, if it just happened sooner. You're going to be in a place in your life where it's like, this is a blessing, and you're not going to care about timeline. So I just want to encourage you guys, rather than thinking about like, when will it happen? Just be like, I'm going to be here until it happens, and then focus on that when it happens. Like, I think you're going to be just fine. So don't compare. Be happy for other people that things have worked out for them. In the end, we're all going to be on the same playing field, because in the end, we're all shooting for that freedom, right? We're all shooting for financial freedom, time freedom, the ability to help tons of people lose weight, the ability to make an impact on somebody's life that isn't financial, that isn't freedom related. It's just like, hey, you gave me enough confidence to believe in myself. Like, who's going for that kind of stuff? That's a cool reward. Yeah, when you help somebody and they like respond to you like, hey, because of you, I didn't do something really terrible. Like when you get those kinds of messages, oh, gosh, that feels good. Okay, go for that kind of stuff. Don't focus on like, well, I have to get to this point by this time, or else this isn't worth it. No, go for the deeper stuff. But I want to talk about your stories and encourage you to start telling them. And a lot of you are probably thinking right off the bat, I don't have a story like Caleb. Gosh. I never met someone in the gas station parking lot. I never did this, I never did that. I don't have a super humorous twist to it. But here's the thing, you still have your story. That's my story. And I tell it the way that I tell it, just because it's my story. So I don't want to ever think, I don't want you guys to ever think that you have to tell your story like me, because it's not your story. Like, that's exclusive to only me. And the cool thing is, every single person in this room has their story. And newsflash, you're unique. I'm a man of faith. I believe very strongly that God created every single person on this earth unique from one another. Totally unique, okay? Yeah, we have things that make us similar. Yeah, we have like little parts of our stories and our characteristics and our talents and skills that are similar to somebody else, but only you have the combination that you have. And here's a little analogy. Who's seen me do the walk analogy? I think you've seen me. Yeah, a couple people have seen the walk analogy. This is one of my favorite things to tell people. This is just like a regular combination lock. You've all seen these before. It's got 4 dials on it, and you know how this works. You line up the dials in the correct combination and it unlocks the lock. Those dials represent characteristics. They represent things that make people people. So number 1 may be dog owner. Number 2 may be single mom. Number 3 may be single dad. Number 4 may be single. Number 6 may be skier. Number 7 may be whatever. They're all things that you've heard before, right? Like none of those things on those dials that I just listed to you are like anything special. But what we do in our minds is think, if I just had that one special part of my story, I would have a story. And then I could share it with people. Like if I just had that doggone funny part in my story, like Caleb, I could tell a story and it would inspire people. And that's bullcrap, because your combination of what makes you you makes you you. That's it, okay? It's not one individual thing that you've never heard of on a dial. Like when you hear me say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, those are the numbers on this dial. You didn't hear me say like some unique, special, magical number, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Zorf, 7, 8, 9, like Zorf. Never heard that one before. Wish I had that number, okay? No, it's the combination of all those individual, maybe not unique characteristics that in the correct combination makes your lock unlock, makes your story, makes your business. And no, here's the cool thing. Nobody else out there has your combination. Like I said, you're unique. So yeah, maybe you are a single mom. Yeah, maybe you do have a corporate job that's driving you underground. Yeah, maybe you have had some struggles. Maybe you do have a dog. Maybe you, like individually, all those things, and you're like, oh, that's not very exciting. There's somebody out there that can relate to exactly your combination. And if you put that out there for people, it's gonna work. Someone's gonna relate to some part of your story. Somebody's gonna see you as the bridge to the solution that they need, okay? We are our most powerful thing. We are the vessel that shares this amazing opportunity, whether it's health and fitness, or financial freedom, or the opportunity, or confidence. And if we're not putting our stories out there and believing that we have the combination to help people, it's never gonna help anyone, okay? If we're waiting for that one special thing that makes us us, it's never gonna happen, okay? And I usually say this to the very end, but I'll say it now because I'm on a roll. If you choose not to tell your story, nobody can. Nobody else can. I mean, people can tell parts of your story, but you can't tell your story like you can. And if you don't, there's somebody in your circle of influence that won't get what they need from you. Period. There's somebody out there, and this is a responsibility I'm putting on your shoulders right now, because you made the commitment to become coaches, you made the commitment to come here to listen to me. You now have a responsibility, whether you realize it or not, leaving this building. When you go out there, if you don't tell your story and you don't reach out to people, someone out there who can only relate to you as a person, can only relate to your combination, won't get their opportunity. What happens to them? Maybe you're comfortable because you didn't step out of that zone to tell your story and get vulnerable and put that combination out there for people to be like, hey, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, and this is how my life is changing because of this Beachbody thing. If you don't do that, somebody over here doesn't get your influence. And then you think you're comfortable, but what about them? What about them a couple of years down the road when they never were given the opportunity to build freedom for their family? They were never given the opportunity to stay home with their kids, to help them raise their kids. They were never given the opportunity to get healthy. And then they became morbidly obese and died. I mean, we're joking a little bit here, but it's serious. I'm serious at the same time. Like, you guys have a responsibility that's so much bigger than so many coaches realize, okay? I want to drive that home to you guys right now. Just remember that when you're in those moments of like fear and like hesitation, like get over yourself and think about other people for once. Seriously, put yourself in somebody else's shoes. That's like dying, sometimes literally, for somebody to reach out to them, for somebody to support them, encourage them, and build them up and just say, hey, I believe in you. Like, hey, you're good enough. Hey, you are beautiful, and you can do some really cool things. I would love to help you do that. Some people need that so badly, and they're just not willing to share that. They're not willing. You need to be bold, because other people won't be, okay? You need to go get those people. So I want to just challenge you guys and do something really uncomfortable right now and prove to you that you have a story that makes you relatable. Because we tell our stories to become relatable, right? Like I stood up here and told you my story so you could laugh and like be drawn into the conversation, be like, okay, I think I can trust this guy up on stage. Like, yeah, he's been there, he's done that, okay. He's funny, I can listen to him for a couple more minutes. You guys all have those same things in your story, in your life, that make you relatable and trustworthy. So, I'm going to challenge you to put your hand up if you've ever been in a rough relationship, an abusive relationship, if you've ever struggled with your weight, if you've ever struggled with financial issues, if you've ever had a family member that really put you through the ringer, if you've ever gone through divorce, if you've ever gone through a broken engagement, if you've ever, okay, a little bit less hands, if you've ever gone through, you guys get the idea? Like, were you sitting next to anybody just now that put their hand up and you didn't, and you're like, oh gosh, I didn't know that about them. Like, wow, that's kind of cool. Like, I guess I can talk to them about something now, or like, I've been through something similar, not like that, but it's gonna be all right, you know? I was there with you, I've experienced that, I know what that's like. That's what I'm talking about. When you get out there and you tell your story, and you get vulnerable with people, and you don't just sugarcoat it, you're like, oh, my life is perfect,
like, look at my beautiful hair. And it's like, oh, I work out and I'm like, insta-perfect. I'm like zoomed up on the butt. Like, that's great, yeah, but seriously, cut the crap. Get real with people. Like, I'll humbly say, I have a following because I try to keep it real with people, and that's relatable. So I want to challenge you guys to do the uncomfortable things, to say the things nobody else says. I'm a man of faith, I put it out there all the time. I love Jesus! And I say that all the time because nobody else does. Like, other people are like, oh, Jesus, I don't tell anyone because it's kind of scary. They might judge me. Who cares? Let them judge. Seriously, put yourself out there. I'm a Beachbody coach and it's freaking awesome! And I want everybody to experience it with me. Okay, if you never do that, you're never going to create the haters yet, but you're never going to get the people that want what you have to offer. Okay? So put your story out there over and over and over, and I think you will see so many things change through your business. Yeah, and everything else will happen. If you're inviting people to, like, hear your story, and like you're sharing your vulnerabilities, and like, this is where I was, and it sucked, and this is how I got to the point I am now, and most importantly, this is where I'm going, okay? Who wants to come with me? You know, here's another little point. I'm going to jump off the stage. A lot of people, they hesitate to tell their story, or they hesitate to invite, or most often they hesitate to even think about sharing the business opportunity. Who's scared to share the business opportunity? Like, oh, that's so cool. I have an opportunity. Like, people hesitate from that because they, more often than not, let me know if you ever said this to yourself, like, I don't have any, like, credibility. Like, I just signed up for this last week. There's a couple baby coaches in this one. If you're a brand new coach, put your hand up. Yay! Welcome to the roller coaster. Yeah, hang on for dear life. It's the best thing ever. But a lot of people hesitate to share anything because they're like, oh, I don't have credibility. No one's going to listen to me. No one's going to listen to me. Like, that terrifying objection, this is what caught me up so much when I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to grit my teeth. I'm going to share the business opportunity with people. And I got the first, like literally the first person I ever went to and was like, I want to share an opportunity with you because I can see how much it can benefit you. And I'm like, this coaching thing is amazing. And the objection I got on the first time I ever tried that was, how much money are you making? Nothing. I'm not making anything. And it was so true for the first like 6 months. I think it took me almost 3 months to make my first cent as a Beachbody coach. Okay? Who knows what that feels like? Yeah. So long. But here's the cool thing I wish I would have learned right when I started, is that it doesn't matter what you're making at the beginning. You can say, I don't really know yet. I don't really know what I'm making because there's a delay in this business and it comes later. But check this out. That's where I'm going because I'm not quitting. And you can join me or not, but I'm going to be up. Someone say amen. I need like a scarf or something. No, like you can tell people with so much confidence because you've seen it done before, right? You've seen the coaches that have signed up for this business and they're like, you know what? I'm not quitting. Period. You can join me or leave me, but I'm going. And then they go, and now they're there where everyone wants to be, right? It's because they never quit, and they just kept going and going, whether people join them or not. And now they're there. Okay? You guys can do the exact same thing. You don't have to have credibility at the beginning. You just have to have passion. You just have to be like, hey, listen, like, I'm crap. I haven't made a cent yet, but I don't care. And I'm going over here. Like, other people have been millionaires with this. I'm going to be a millionaire. And you can own that. You can own that part of your story. Like, right from the beginning, like, I have no clue what I'm doing. Like, I don't even, did I say Beachbody? I don't even know what Beachbody is. Okay, so I learned this from Scotty Hobbs. Who knows Scotty Hobbs? Good dude. My bro. He kind of taught me this lesson that, like, you know, it doesn't matter where you start because everybody starts at the same spot, really, you know. And so many people quit because they're starting at this bottom spot and they're like, well, this isn't working. This isn't working. Like, why am I at the bottom? Like, because you just started, right? And you have to keep going to get to that top spot. And it's not about, your progress in the beginning stages is just simply about your vision and your focus for where I keep pointing to the brick wall. I'm going right here on this nail. But seriously, like you have every right and all the credibility in the world you need if you're passionate and you just make your decision not to quit. If you like do this and you sign up for this and you're like, I don't give a crap how long it takes. I'm gonna be there. And you can jump in with me or you can miss out. And that's what I've done with my business up to this point. Or at least halfway through my business, I kind of learned that technique and it changed the game for me. Because it unleashed me to just be like who I am. It unleashed me to just tell my story unapologetically and be like, hey, you know what? I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm going to be there. And this is what it looks like. I'm going to have time freedom to be with my family. I'm not going to have to go to work. I'm not going to have to work for a boss. I'm not going to have a schedule. I'm going to have financial freedom so I can go to the gas station and fill up my Ford Excursion if I wanted to and not even think about the price on the gas pump. Because honestly, there was a time in my life where, when I started this business, there was a time in my life I was just telling someone back in the back that, I would go to work and bust tables all day, earn just enough money to go to the gas station on the way home, put another gallon in my car, go home, come back to work the next day, and repeat that cycle over and over and over again. Who's ever been in that spiral where you're just like, you are literally just like skinning your teeth over and over and over to get by, and you're like, that's life, I guess. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be like that. You guys pursue something greater. If you don't want that, if you want to change that, change something. Seriously, that's like the most cliche quote ever. But seriously, like the second that I just made the decision to like, okay, well I'm going to change something, I'm going to make some sacrifices and pour myself into this crazy opportunity I don't believe in, and pray that it works, and just never give up. That's when things changed. Okay? So, I guess I just want to end this. How long have I been going? 6 hours. No. I can go for 6 hours. What else could I do? Maybe we can do some questions and answers then.
Yeah.
I just want to encourage you guys to, I was telling you, a lot of you guys that told me you're new, just sign up, like, you signed up for this, or if you haven't, you're going to. And just stick with us. If you could zoom out 5 years and see the timeline of your life in your Beachbody business, you see right here, you're like, I'm working so hard, and this is so crappy, and I'm not getting anything in return. But then you zoom out and you see the big picture. Those ups and downs in that little section that you're in right now. When you're riding that coaster, the roller coaster, who's rode the entrepreneurial roller coaster like Aaron already? Get it. Go. I see him back there. By the way, what's your name? John has lost 130 pounds. He's doing like a whirlwind trip. He's here. He flew up from Texas to be here for this event, and then he's flying to T-Moss, going back home to see Autumn Calabrese on another Super Sunday. So he's awesome. He's committed. But we're in that up and down stage right now. Okay, we're in that up and down stage, and it's brutal. In the moment when you're going through it, when you're like waking up for the daily grind, and you're like, daily sacrifice to do this business or not do it. And you have to constantly be making that decision like, I'm going to grit my teeth today and do it. And then the next day, I'm going to grit my teeth and do it. Oh. And then you look at your bank account and you're like, no, it's not working. Okay? That's where you're at right now. But when you zoom out and you get a bigger, broader picture, you don't see those crazy ups and downs, those jagged peaks of super high days, amazing success, super low days, I'm gonna like quit and never come back to this because it's the worst decision I ever made. Super amazing day the next day. You don't see those peaks and valleys anymore. You just kind of get a bird's eye view of where you were before, and you recognize where you are now. Okay, so I want to challenge you to develop the mindset of, rather than focusing on your daily struggle, yes, stay consistent in your daily work, but think about the big picture. Think about what your family is going to look like 5 years from now. Think about what your freedom is going to look like. Think about how many people you can impact. It's like a pebble in a lake. It's a huge ripple effect. That's how network marketing works. I hate the word network marketing. It sounds bad, but it's seriously so true. It starts with you, right? You made the commitment. You talked to 2 people. They talk to 2 people, they talk to 2 people. All those people compound. It's like the penny that compounds into millions of dollars. Who's ever heard that story? Like, would you rather have, yeah, compound, like, would you rather have $1 million handed to you right now? Or would you rather have a penny that doubles for 31 days? It's like, a penny that doubles? Yeah, it works out to be exponentially more than $1 million, right? But it starts so small. It starts like so insignificant, and that's what, R2 D2's here. That's awesome. You like some Star Wars movies, by the way. Nerd. But yeah, it starts so small, but you must believe that it's working. Even in the moments where nothing's working, it is, okay? So that's what I want to leave you with. I just want to leave some encouragement and just let you guys know that you're beautiful, you're worthy of becoming really radically successful at this. You have what it takes. You guys all have this story, so I saw your hands go up. You can share that with people and inspire the daylights out of them. And I just want you to realize that, you know, where you're going to be in just a couple months, couple of years is a beautiful, 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 beautiful place. I want you to pay that forward to your teams and encourage them and build them and their belief up too. So, with that said, that's all I have. I know it's always awkward to get these started like question and answer sessions, but if anyone has a question or anything that I can help you guys with, just holler now. Sure.
How and why did you start making the awesome videos that we all know you for?
That's actually probably a story. The question was, how and why did I start making videos? He said awesome videos, thank you. So I for some reason, really gravitated towards YouTube to kind of learn when I first... when I first signed up, I was like, actually before I signed up as a coach, and that's how I started seeing all these coaches. You know, I said I spent 3 years like objecting, and like that whole 3 years I was behind the scenes studying the crap out of all these people and learning everything I could about it. And honestly, intuitively, I knew coaching was legit, but I just wasn't willing to see it. And I was seeing it in all these videos of Scotty Hobbs and, you know, Lindsay Matway and like all these coaches that I looked up to before I was even a coach. It's like, wow, they are doing this. And I just saw them on YouTube, and I thought, well, you know, honestly, I saw a gap in the market because you go to like research something on YouTube, it's like, oh, what's an Emerald coach? And you get on YouTube and it's like a 6-hour video. You're like, oh, it's the popcorn, I guess I'll find out something. And you have to watch like a huge long video just to get one little nugget. Like an Emerald coach is a coach on your left leg, coach on your right leg with 50 PB. Okay, 10 seconds, boom! Okay, and so I saw a gap in the market and was like, you know what, I can teach the same lessons in a shorter amount of time and save people some time and put my own little spin, my excitement, and maybe even a little bit of my ministry in there. Like that was my idea, like, hey, I could be an entrepreneurial minister. Like that sounds really bad. But like I could be a businessman and also be a man of faith at the same time. And they like crisscross and it works, okay? And so that's kind of why I did that. I just saw the benefit for me personally of being able to portray my personality through videos more than, you know, Facebook posts or whatever. So that's how I got started. And honestly, when I first started, you know, it's hard to see this when you first begin, but when I challenge you to go back to my YouTube channel, like the first few videos I made. It was so bad. I was so nervous on camera, and I was like super scrawny at that time, and I was like on camera, like trying to flex and like my little nuggets were like yeah, I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what I was talking about. But over time, I just thought, well, it'd be kind of cool to put my website address in the video. So I put a website address on the top, and then I wanted to draw attention to it. So I was like, well, maybe what's up, everybody? It's Coach Caleb from epiceveryrep.com. I just point up there. And over time, it's just kind of progressed into what they are today. There's not like I had this ultimate vision of what my YouTube channel would look like, and that I'd have over 1 million views, and that I'd have so many thousand subscribers. It was just honestly like, put myself on camera, and it grew from that because of the consistency of it. Like the first few videos I made, the first like 50 videos, had like 10 views, 5 views, 3 views, and 2 out of the 3 were my mom. Like watching, like, oh, that's so good. That was not good, okay? But yeah, and it's just grown from there. Add value to the market. That was the big goal, is to just add value. Whether it's coaches or whatever, in some way, create value so people are attracted to it. And over time, that's what my business has been built on, is people are attracted to those videos, and then they convert into followers, and they convert into coaches and customers. So, yeah. Long answer for a simple question. What's up?
Over time, in your business, what have you found your top 2 income producing activities to be?
For me, videos. That's, no. So over time, what have been the top 2 income producing actions of my business? That's, honestly, if I'm answering that correct, it's really, really hard to say that, because in this business, like we were just saying, there's such a huge delay for our, like traditional businesses, you show up, you punch your time card, you sacrifice your time, and they reward you with income right away. Or you sign up, you go through schooling, and you go through the application process, and you get your salary job, and you're instantly rewarded in a way, okay? This is not like that. Like what we do right now is not like that. It rewards us substantially more in the long run, but at first, like when you're doing these actions, it's so hard to put like, each YouTube video equaled $500, or each Facebook post translated into $10 or whatever. It just doesn't work that way. Planting seeds and inviting, number 1, has probably been the most rewarding thing, because if you're not planting seeds, you're not growing a harvest, right? You can't harvest something that you haven't planted. And that's another thing, little side note. If you're inviting people and they're saying no, they're just saying no, not right now. You've all heard that before. It takes time. Like you wouldn't go to a farmer and he plants a crop and he's like, "Where's my corn?" He'd go inside and he'd do other work, and he'd come back out and water it, and then he'd go back inside and do other work, and then he'd come back out and throw some crap on it and fertilize it, and then he'd come back inside, and then he'd like, "I think there's corn in there," and then he'd go back inside, and he wouldn't like stand there like, "This isn't working. I'm a bad farmer." No, he understands that it takes time. It's the same for us. You plant seeds by inviting people. Some of them, yeah, the abnormal ones are like, "Sign me up, let's do this." Okay, you caught them in their moment. Most people, majority 9 out of 10, are like, no. But by inviting them, you planted a seed in their mind so that when they are ready, they know who to go to. Always remember that. So inviting, number 1, and then I'd say YouTube videos for me personally. Yeah. Yeah.
How do you keep in contact with your previous challengers?
Previous challenge?
You have a challenge group, and then they don't really stick with you. Do you just let them go, or do you try to keep them into it, or?
Yeah. So the question was, how do I keep in touch with my challengers from the past? And the answer is not always. I don't. You can, when you grow your customer base to the point where you have, what's a round number, over 1,000 people, it's impossible. You don't have enough time in the day to keep in touch with everyone. But what I've done is I've made a point that this business is a numbers game. 1,000 people you invite, 100 are going to commit to your challenge group. Out of those 100, 10 of them may become coaches or consider coaching. Out of those 10 coaches, maybe one's actually going to build a business. So it's a numbers game. It really is. And if you're thinking it's not, if you're like thinking, "Oh, I have 10 people picked out here and they're going to be my team," you're mistaken. Who's ever seen that? Like, "Oh, I have my 5-star diamond team right here," and then all of them quit. You're like, "What am I doing wrong?" The only thing you're doing wrong is you're not focusing on the numbers. You have to think abundance. I need to talk to more people. I need to get my message out to more people. I need to invite more people, whether it's mass on Facebook or individually in your inbox or on YouTube or whatever. You have to talk to more people. What was the original question?
Sometimes I feel guilty that I just kind of let them go, but they're not participating or trying, so I'm like.
I was talking to Jess last night in the car when she picked me up from the airport. You cannot drag everybody. Like there's going to be, it just is the simple truth that you're going to work with 100 people and a fraction of them are going to actually follow through. You're going to get so many people in your challenge groups and a fraction of them are actually going to do it. You're going to get so many people started on Shakeology HD because they're like, "I'm going to use Shakeology for a year, I'm going to get 365er," and get one over and cancel. It's just the way it is, and if you beat yourself up for that, you got to do a mind shift and just realize that this isn't for everybody. You can do what you can do to encourage them, and you can do what you can do to keep them on track. But if they choose to go in a different direction, you have to have that tough coaching. I forget who I was talking to. Just say, like your job as a coach at that point is to just say, okay, I see you making that decision, and I want to release you, bless you and release you and say, you can make that decision, but that's different from what you told me at the beginning. So if you change your mind, I'm going this way, and I'd love to have you back with us. I hope it works out for you. Like, just that really like simple truth in their face is oftentimes more than enough for them to be sure that that's the way that they want to go. Because sometimes people don't even realize they're making a decision that's going to hurt them. Or they're like, you know what, you caught me. Like, I did commit to you before, and I think I'm going to renew my commitment to you. So, yeah.
So I've been a coach for just over 2 years, and I feel like at this point in my business, the thing I struggle with the most is managing everything, like organizing my conversations with people and like kind of just client management. And I'm just curious, like, how do you do it? Like, how do you manage who you talk to, who's where in the process? How do you, without scrolling through endless Facebook messages, like how, do you have a method, or is it just kind of trial by fire?
Well, the first thing is I'm not a manager.
Right.
Like, I've experienced that before. I've been managed before, and it was like, I hated that. So I don't treat my business like that. I treat my business like, who are the people that are running with me right now? I'm gonna, like, it's kind of like you're like in a marathon with like 25,000 people in Boston, or however many, like 600,000. How many people run that thing over? A lot. So much spandex. And you're running along and you have your group of people that are around you, and sometimes you spend your whole marathon with those people, encouraging those people and running with them, like, hey, keep going, don't lose pace. But you're in this marathon with thousands and thousands and thousands of people that you're honestly collectively all working together on. But you can't like spend your entire marathon like running around from the beginning to the front of the marathon like, what about you? Is everyone doing okay? Is everyone okay? Is everyone still with me? Is everyone? Because then you're running like 20 marathons while everyone's just trying to like run their one marathon. So, make it easier on yourself and just focus on the 10 that are running. Like, make it easier for you and answer your inboxes, answer your messages, create your follow-up list, and make sure you're doing your due diligence to reach out to those people and to hold them accountable or whatever. But if they just choose not to keep up or they choose to go in a different direction, that's not your job. Isn't to manage that. Your job is to put an opportunity in front of people and say, take it or leave it. We're going. And I think once you free yourself to do that and just instead focus on the abundance mentality of like, okay, I'm going to put this in front of so many people that I'm going to find the runners. I'm going to find the people that want to work with me. It's going to be a lot easier in the long run. The long run, get it? Did that answer your question? Yeah. Just focus in on the things that really matter, like reaching out to new people, taking care of yourself, telling your story, and doing your personal development. I think everything else kind of falls in line. Yeah. Like maybe one or two more.
How do you get people excited that sign up for the coach opportunity that didn't come from challenge groups?
That didn't come from challenge groups?
Or do they usually come from challenge groups?
I see both for me, but getting them excited, this is what I love to talk. Vision casting. Like, if I can get somebody to believe, this is one of my favorite stories and analogies. So when Martin Luther King Jr. gave his speech, he didn't get up on his stage, and you all heard, I have a dream. He didn't get up on the stage and be like, I have a perfectly laid out plan, and I know all the details, and I've done this so many times before, and I've been successful so many times before, and this is how it's going to work, and this is where we're going to go, and this is where we're going to march, and this is the words we're going to say, and we're going to do all these things, and that's why it's going to work for you. Aren't you excited? No. He just like, guys, I have a dream, and it's freaking awesome. And there's kids playing in playgrounds, like white kids, black kids playing in playgrounds, and it's the most amazing, beautiful thing I've ever experienced before, and I can see it because it's awesome. Doesn't that get someone else excited? Doesn't that get you like, dude, I can see that. Like, I can actually, it's never happened before. We've never experienced that before, but I can see it, and that's beautiful. I want to be a part of that. So that's the same thing for us coaches. Is like, if you get someone from a challenge group or from a YouTube video, from just an invite on Facebook, don't spend your time at the beginning like telling them all the details and like all the, well, this is, okay, so you're new coach, awesome, we got to teach you how to run challenge groups, this is how you invite, these are all the scripts, these are all like the, details, because the more you do that, the more they're like, I don't think this is distance from me. The more you convince them that they can't do something. But if you stand there in front of them and be like, hey, you don't know any details about how this works yet, but this is where you could be. Like, this is where you could be in just a few short months or years of sacrifice and consistency and belief in this thing. Isn't that exciting? Like, isn't it exciting to think that you could be home with your kids? Isn't it exciting to think that you could have that dream car you want? Isn't it exciting to think that you could have the feeling that you left an impact? Like, isn't that cool? I can see you doing that. Can you see it? I think that's more than enough to get people excited. Because if you create that belief and that fire inside them, they'll figure out the details. They'll figure out how to make the ends meet. They'll figure out how to get there. Yeah, back.
What programs do you use to make your videos, and like how do you do your voiceovers? And then another thing is, any programs or apps in general that help make your life a little easier?
I've never had that question before. So the video one all the time. I use a program called Final Cut Pro X. It's a $300 program. It just makes editing a little bit easier, but it's all possible, and you can do everything that I do with the free program that's on your Mac already if you have a Mac, or like Windows Media Studio or whatever it is. I hate Windows PCs, but on Macs it's iMovie. You can do everything I do. The thing is, it's not easy and it's very time consuming. So like to cut out the silence between all my words, it takes a long time. It's a lot of work and it's really boring and tedious, but it makes the final product really cool. So it's worth it in my opinion. Apps, I use Evernote. Anyone use Evernote? Yeah, it's kind of cool, like cross-platform syncing apps, so you can, I'm a huge believer in personal development. I'm reading books constantly, and I'm constantly putting notes in my Evernote, so it's across all my platforms, so that in those times when I know I need to be posting consistently on social media, but I don't have anything exciting in my mind, I go to my notepad and be like, oh, that's a good thought. Post a story about that, or post a life lesson about that. And everyone's like, where do you come up with this stuff, Caleb? It's so good. It's like personal development to my Evernote pad to my Facebook every single day. Guys, I'm not a genius. Everyone's like, your social media is so powerful. Be like, it's just a book. Someone else wrote that. But seriously, like if you're not reading personal development, you're missing out on a huge content source for your inspiration also. Other apps, honestly don't use a whole lot. Just Evernote for the most part. One more. Yeah.
What are your top 3 personal development recommendations?
I'm so glad you asked me that. I'm not going to tell you. No. So the reason, I'll tell you. So my first book I ever read was Darren Hardy's The Compound Effect. Amazing book, super simple concept that no one ever thinks about in life, honestly. And that was like the gateway for me to understand how this business actually worked, and that's when everything's been built. So The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, the Bible. I should have said that one first. Honestly, I know not everyone here is a person of faith or religious or whatever, but there are so many amazing lessons in that book that apply to us exactly the same as any other book, okay? There's so many amazing business lessons and relationship lessons and sex lessons, and I'm not there yet, but so many amazing things in that book. That's one of my top books. And I guess I gotta give you a third one. I don't know. The reason I don't like telling people my personal books, or my favorite books, is because what speaks to me in a moment might not speak to you. Like, I could be like, oh, Brian Tracy's Eat That Frog is the best book you'll ever read. It has changed my life, and like time management is so much better. But if you're not struggling with time management, you're gonna eat that book and be like, this is stupid. I don't need this. And you're gonna be like, I don't need personal development, I guess. So I would challenge you guys, if you are looking for books, think about what you suck at. Seriously, be honest enough and mature enough with yourself to think about what do I really need to work on, and then find a book that addresses that specific topic. And it will. I'm pretty sure there's a few books out there that are bad. I'm pretty sure it's going to speak to you more than any book that I could recommend. So, okay, that's it. Thanks guys so much. It's been great talking to you.